Right, what's going on, guys? Harry today for another video, and today I'm bringing you transfers, rumours, free, or whatever. I don't know, I might change the name of it. Haven't decided yet. So straight away we're going to go into a confirmed transfer, I guess. It's not really it's the club have basically said it, but it's not been officially, like, he's not done deal or anything. But I'm happy about it. It's that Manchester United, yesterday on all their social medias and their website, confirmed the signing of defender Victor Lindelof from Benfica, subject to a medical and personal terms. The statement on Manchester United's website reads, Manchester United is pleased to announce that it has reached an agreement with Benfica for the transfer of Victor Lindelof, subject to a medical examination, international clearance and personal terms. A further announcement will be made once the transfer is complete. If you ask me, I've said this before in my other transfer, I think he would be a good signing. Him and Bailly, I think, is really good. I've heard people going on about how it's the next Vidic and Ferdinand, get a bit ahead of ourselves there. Well, time will tell, but he is a good ball playing defender. He's not afraid to just run out with the ball. He can run with it as well, like a cam, and he can even take free kicks. If you didn't see his one against Lisbon, I would search it up because it's actually very good. On to the next one then. It is the Inter Milan have rejected a bid of £36 million from Manchester United for Ivan Perisic, as Sky in Italy understands they want at least £44 million for the Croatian international that new manager Spalletti would like to keep. So if you're asking me, £44 million seems like a lot for a 28-year-old who's never played at like a very top side either. I would still take him, and I know money is getting a lot more in football these days, but we'll have to wait and see on that one because 44 million does seem like a lot. 36 seems fine. It's only 9 million more, isn't it, at the end of the day? So I think United might match it. Just depends on what. But Inter are under pressure anyway because at the end of the month they have to make up €30 million, otherwise they get a financial fair play ban. So yeah. So now we'll move on to an article from Daily Mirror. This is West Ham are trying to loan Chelsea forward Bertrand Traore. The 21-year-old scored 14 goals on loan at Ajax last season, but Everton are also reportedly interested in the Burkina Faso international. I think that's how you say it. No, I've never heard that nationality before, but I think he'd be a good signing for West Ham. So he's never had a chance at Chelsea really, and he did really well for Ajax last year. He's probably their best attacker against United in the Europa League final. He's had a good season on loan at Ajax. I think he struggled when he first came in, but I think he's done well now, and I think I'd like to see him in the Prem. So hopefully West Ham will have to get him. But just have to see. Anyway, move on to the next thing. Is something from Portuguese newspaper O Jogo, and that is Manchester United will battle Liverpool for the signature of Sporting Lisbon star Gelson Martins. The 22-year-old has a release clause of 46.5 million and a contract until 2022. Obviously, like I said, Liverpool, I reported that before, the Liverpool were interested in a replacement instead of Salah if they couldn't get him. I don't know if I'd have him at United. I think he's only had one good season at Lisbon so far. Everyone says the next Ronaldo. Well, Ronaldo was at United 3 years before this, so I don't know. He might be a good sign of all we know. I think he's probably a backup if we do not get Perisic. But it's Jogo. It's a Portuguese newspaper. How reliable are they really? Not really. So have hold of a pinch of salt. And next we have got a report from AS today is that an unnamed Chinese club is set to offer Real Madrid €200 million to sign Cristiano Ronaldo this summer. Impressed by the Portuguese superstar's tremendous end of the season form, the Chinese Super League outfit are willing to pay a €200 million transfer fee, in addition to offering him €120 million a year deal. According to AS, though, senior figures from the club will head to Madrid next week to meet Bernabeu president Florentino Perez and produce a formal transfer offer. Madrid, however, are unlikely to sell their star forward. Yeah, I don't think they would sell him for any sort of money unless he said he wants to leave. I don't think that he would leave, they would accept any offer for him. He is very good though. If you think about it now, guys, 80 million is just a bargain for Ronaldo. At that time, you wouldn't think it was, but it just was. He's Real Madrid's top scorer. He's won them so many Champions Leagues now and everything. He's an incredible player. I'd love him back United, but it's never going to happen. So yeah, I don't think he'll go to China though. At least unless he handed a transfer request. Sorry, but other than that, I think he'll be a Real Madrid next year. Anyway, we're now moving on to the London Evening Standard, which say Arsenal must hold off a bid from Man City to secure the future of young winger. I know it says he's a striker, but that's because he's now a winger. He started the year on FIFA as a striker. He's now a left mid on head-to-head. Secure the future of young winger Chris Willock, who is entering the final weeks of his Emirates contract. Everton, Celtic, and Dortmund also report the interest in the 19-year-old. Willock scored 8 goals and made 8 assists in 19 Premier League 2 games last season, which is actually pretty good. But yeah, I think Arsenal should definitely. I think he's really good. I think he's got a brother. He's got 2 brothers actually. One of them the other one plays for Arsenal as well, and then the other one is Matty Willock. I'm pretty sure his name is, and he plays for United. Who's a centre mid. Yeah, it seems like he is actually. It seems good if he's got lots of clubs after him. I think Celtic could be a good move for him if he didn't stay at Arsenal, just because he probably gets some first team chances there. Everton, he might. Dortmund, I know Dortmund is youth, but he's gonna have to compete with like Pulisic and all, and Dembele. I'm not sure about that one. I think Arsenal will try and keep him though, because he seems like he's very good. So, yeah. Next, we're moving on to a player that has just disappeared this season because of that ban he got from the it's not FA, FIFA. He's actually unbanned though, so he'll be able to play again next season. So this is coming from Turkish newspaper Aksam, that Arsenal set to battle Lazio and Chelsea for the Turkey international Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Çalhanoğlu has a £32.5 million release clause at Bayer Leverkusen, and has previously been heavily linked with a move to the Premier League. If you ask me, a £32.5 million is terrific for Çalhanoğlu. Leverkusen have definitely missed him this year when he's been banned because of something that happened with a Turkish club he was at before or something. Yeah, he would be a very good player in the Prem. I think he's very good at free. He's one of the best free kick takers in the world as well. Anyway, moving on to what Master said again, and that is United have informed Barcelona that Ander Herrera is not for sale. Barcelona are looking to bolster their midfield options this summer, and new Nou Camp boss Ernesto Valverde, I think that's how you say, I don't know, who worked with Herrera during his time at Athletic Bilbao, wants to snap up the Spanish midfielder. The La Liga giants inquired about Herrera's availability, with Manchester United Jose Mourinho insisting the 27-year-old is not available for transfer. I do not see this one happening. Herrera loves this club. He's even said it before, he'd happily sign a new contract. I see him as the new captain of Manchester United. I love his passion. I think he's incredible. But we'll just have to hope he stays. I hope he signs a new contract soon. I don't want him going anywhere. I love Herrera. Anyway, we're now moving on to an article from The Sun today, and that is Chris Wood is a £15 million target from promoted Huddersfield. The lead striker knocked 30 goals last season and rivals Huddersfield, who went up after a shootout victory over Reading at Wembley in the playoff final, reportedly keen on the 25-year-old. If you ask me, I can see Chris Wood leaving for a Premier League side, but Leeds would probably let him go to another side that isn't Huddersfield because obviously they're rivals and everything. I don't think they'd really want to do that. They'd probably try and force him through to another club in the Premier League if they had to. But I can't see him leaving. I think he's a very good striker, and I just think Leeds are going to lose him because they didn't get promoted. Now we're moving on to the Daily Mirror, and that is Tottenham are eyeing PSG fullback Serge Aurier as a replacement for Man City target Kyle Walker. Aurier, 24, was linked with a move to Arsenal last season and moved to PSG from Toulouse for $7 million in 2015. The Ivory Coast international has 39 caps for his country. The thing, I don't know what's happened with Aurier. I think he's like a party guy or something like that. I know he's been arrested before. I know he saved a player's life, I think, because he was choking on his tongue or something like that, and then he got arrested again afterwards. But I think he is a good player, or he just has all this like stuff that he does his personal time that he needs to sort out. But I think he's very good because he's lost his spot to Meunier this season. So yeah, I think he is good. He just needs to sort all that out. Moving on to L'Equipe today, and that is long-term Chelsea target Timiu Bakayoko is closing in on a move to the Premier League champions. It is reported that the English side are close to agreeing a fee for the player with Monaco, and the player himself is keen on the move. If you ask me this, Monaco are going to lose a lot of players. Fabinho, who's that other CDM, looks set to go to United for like €40 million. Bakayoko seems to be on his way out. Bernardo Silva's already gone. Mendy could still go. They just seem like they're going to lose a lot of players. Even Mbappe might be on his way to Real Madrid. Yeah, Bakayoko, I do like. Like I said before, I'm happy that we'd probably be getting Fabinho because I think they're both good, but Fabinho I think suits United a bit more. Bakayoko I think would be good for Chelsea though. Him and Kante will be very good in midfield. I think it will happen though. So yeah. Moving on now, we've got another article from the AS, and that is Atletico Madrid could be set to revive a move for their former star Diego Costa. The striker is not believed to be in Chelsea. What's believed? He is not in the plans. I don't know why they've said that for. This is yesterday as well, so it's already confirmed he's going to leave. One stumbling block in this though is that it may prevent. That may prevent a return to Atletico. Sorry, is that obviously they have a transfer ban because they signed underage players. Costa fears not being able to play until January would thwart his ambitions of representing his country at the 2018 World Cup. Yeah, that's the only problem with Costa. He probably has two options here. Well, he's probably got three. He's got China, which he doesn't want to go to because he his World Cup. AC Milan, where he could play for the entire season, but he's not sure about Italian football. Or Atletico Madrid, it'll be half the season to prove himself for the World Cup. That's the only issue with Costa there. So, it could happen, but I don't know if they'll let him. I honestly just want to let him go. I don't know where he'll want to go. If he wants to risk an Atletico, or go money for China, but he wants to play the World Cup, so I think AC Milan's probably his best bet at the moment. But you never know. I bet he probably ends up at AC Milan if he goes anywhere. Right, moving on, we've got an article from Mundo Deportivo which says Borussia Dortmund have slapped a €90 million price tag on Barcelona target Ousmane Dembele. Forward Dembele is one of Barca's primary targets this summer, and the Frenchman has reportedly informed them of his desire to play at the new camp. However, Dortmund, who beat Barca to his signature when he left Rennes last summer, now valued the 20-year-old at €90 million, despite the fact they snapped him up for just €15 million last year. Yeah, I don't blame Dortmund for putting such a high price tag on him. Pretty sure he's got like a 5-year deal still running, and he's probably one of the best up-and-coming French talents in the world. I think he will leave in the future. I would love him to come to United, but apparently he's a big Barca fan, so that's kind of annoying. But I would honestly take him at United in a heartbeat. I don't see him going this summer. Maybe next year, or I think another 2 years at least at Dortmund before I see him going. But it doesn't seem like he has a release clause that anyone's found out about yet. He might not have one. We'll have to see. Moving on now to another article on the Daily Mirror. That is Manchester United goalkeeper Joel Pereira is attracting interest from Benfica, Porto and Sporting to the top three Portuguese sides. The 20-year-old was on loan at Portuguese side Belenenses, I think that's how you say, I have no clue, for the first half of last season and impressed his time in Liga NOS. His third choice at United behind De Gea and Romero. I saw an article on it the other day that was Benfica wanted Pereira in place when we signed Lindelof. See, I would let him go on loan to Benfica because Benfica need a goalkeeper and they lost theirs. I would let him go on loan to Benfica this season, honestly, just to get some first team football and be their first keeper in the Champions League. I would love to see Joe Pereira playing next season in the first team football for the champions of Portugal as well. Can I see it happening? Yes, I can. If Jose wants to, though, that's the only thing. If he's willing to have O'Hara or Johnson on as the third choice keeper next year, depends. Because I don't think I'll let him go definitely on a permanent, because he says he's probably one of the next best Portuguese keepers in their generation. So I don't see him going permanently. I can't see him going on a loan if Johnson or O'Hara are the third choice. If Jose's fine with that. Anyway, we now move on to the Northern Echo now, which says Newcastle closing in on Eibar defender Florian Lejeune. I don't know. I don't know if you pronounce that E or not. The 26-year-old, who has an £8.7 million release clause, briefly signed for Manchester City in 2015 and has been impressive for the Spanish side as they achieved a top half finish last season. I didn't know he signed for Manchester City briefly. I'm guessing they signed him and then sold him on straight away for a bit more money or something. He looks alright, I guess. If you go by his stats on FIFA, he's not that good, is he? He's got... Well, dribbling off snap, his pass is horrendous. His pace is rubbish. At least his defending physical, alright. Who knows, he might be a solid defender in the Prem for Newcastle. He's 6'2", so he's tall. He could be very good for Newcastle after I say this. Watch him go, if he does so, watch him go score against United next year. But honestly, I think he'd be a decent sign for Newcastle. Moving on to Calcio Mercato today, I think that's how you say it. In Italy, are reported that Leonardo Bonucci is now being tracked by Chelsea. The centre-back who has worked with Antonio Conte before club at international level could be subject to a 55 million euro bid, which is 15 million euros short of the Juventus valuation. So they want at least 70 million euros for what, a 30-year-old defender now. Sorry, which I think is a lot for a player that's that of. I don't think Chelsea, unless Chelsea will give him less, I don't see them spending 60 million euros on a defender that's probably got about 4 years left in his career at top level, at least, of first team football. Because John Terry's played for until he's like 36 or 37 now, but he hasn't been starting for the last 3 years, so I could possibly see it happening, but I wouldn't risk it on a 30-year-old centre-back. And Italian defenders never seem to do well when they come to the Premier anyway. So I think he'd be good signing for Chelsea, though. I know I say that, but I still think he'd be very good for Chelsea. But I'm not sure it'll happen for that much. We'll have to see. For 70 million even, that's 60 million. Sorry. Now moving on to reports from Russia today that claim Arsenal could be set to spend £10 million on CSKA Moscow midfielder Alexander Golovin, and then immediately loan him back to the Russian club. The reports in sports.ru, also reported by the Daily Mirror, says the player has a contract until 2021 and has also been linked with Chelsea. To be fair with you guys, I'd never heard of him before I saw this article. He's actually he'd probably be pretty good on career mode. He's about, what, 21 or something like that? Probably be decent. He looks like he could be a good player in the future as long as he's not the next Arshavin. But to be fair, Arshavin was actually pretty good for a while. I see Arsenal possibly signing him, loaning back. Yeah, I could see it happening. We'll never know though. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Right, moving on now. We have now got Everton have identified Michael Keane as their number one defensive target this summer, according to Sky sources. The Toffees are keen to bolster their defensive options ahead of next season. Sky Sports News HQ understands they are currently the favourites to sign the Burnley centre-back. Keane only has 1 year left on his current contract at Turf Moor and is expected to leave Burnley, despite the club retaining their Premier League status last season. It was also understood at this time as well that United were interested in him, but now that is now scrapped because they've signed Lindelof. Apparently they still did want him, but he'd rather go to Everton because he'd only be a squad player at United, which I don't blame him for if he really wanted first team football. I think he's a good player. I would have taken him back, but I am happy we've got Lindelof now. I'd still take him back happily now if he was a squad player, not a first team player, and then let Jones go to Everton or something. I think he'd be a good player for Everton. Him and Ashley Williams would be a great centre-back partnership. I can see it happening. I don't see him staying at Burnley this season, even though they said they would hold on to him. I just don't think they'd let him. I think they'd rather get money. Anyway, moving on to Tuttosport today, is claiming that Zlatan Ibrahimovic could be set to return to AC Milan when his contract with Manchester United ends on the 30th of June. The striker previously starred for the Italian Giants between 2010 and 2012, scoring over 50 goals in all competitions. This could be an interesting one because AC Milan have been looking after. He's been looking after so many strikers. They've been looking at Sansoni. They've been looking at Morata. They've been looking at Belotti. They've been looking at Costa, and Aubameyang even as well. But they've been looking at so many strikers. So one of them's gonna have to move eventually. Zlatan on a free for them. When he go back to Italy, he's already proven himself there 3 times with Inter, AC, and Juventus. I don't know, he could. He says he wants, but if he was to go back to Italy, I think he'd go to Napoli because his agent did say that he would like a move to Napoli in the future. So I can't see him back in Italy, but it's not with AC Milan. For any AC Milan fans out there. Anyway, reports in now moving on to reports in Italy today suggest Sevilla's Steven Nzonzi has emerged as a transfer target for Juventus. And Corriere dello Sport also reports that they're keen on Barcelona midfielder Andre Iniesta, who's out of contract. That has just 1 year left on his current contract. You ask me, either one of them would be very good signing for Juventus. Iniesta brings so much experience, and then Nzonzi would be a very good midfielder anyway because I think he's had a great season so far. He's had a great season because he obviously was in the team of the season. I can't see one of those two moving this summer, so if I had to say one, I don't see any Iniesta moves. I'd probably see Nzonzi moving this summer. So yeah, moving on now, we've now got German newspaper Bild reports PSG's new sporting director, Antero Henrique, is having second thoughts about a move for Borussia Dortmund striker Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. The €70 million fee demanded by the German outfit is believed to be the reason for the change in the stance, with AC Milan now showing interest in the striker. I know he's got 70 million, but he is worth it, honestly. I don't know why he's figured that. He's worth it, because he is a top striker. He would bag you 30 plus goals in Ligue 1 if you signed him, PSG signed him. So I don't know why they're going to be put off by that. It's not like they don't have any money anyway. So I still think he'll leave, but if it's not to PSG, AC Milan would be linked, maybe AC Milan, I don't know. I would take him United, but I don't think we'll sign him. So yeah. Rather than finally today, according to Bild again, Bayern Munich believe they have found a successor to the retiring Xabi Alonso in Lyon's Corentin Tolisso. The reigning German champions are already in negotiations with the French club regarding a move for the player, who is keen to continue his development abroad. This would be a good sign for PSG to replace Xabi Alonso. I think he is Xabi Alonso. He's very great at everything. He's very good pass, a good shot, very good dribbler and everything. I think he's very good just for that position in midfield that Xabi Alonso used to play. I think he's just a much better. He's like a young French Xabi Alonso for me. I think he'd be a very terrific sign. I can see this one happening. So anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Sorry for all the coughing in it. I just can't get rid of this cough at the moment. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time, I will see you. Bye.